One of my good friends once said, you can meet a lot of people through this thing called basketball. We're going to take that to a cross-country level tonight on this edition of High School Girls Basketball. It's a special doubleheader featuring two state tournament perennials, the Oakland Tech Bulldogs from California and the DeLaSalle Islanders from right here on the Big D in the island of Nicollet. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Beaton. Here I am all by myself talking to myself. That's Chaos Theory. This is a special event. Oakland Tech playing a couple of games. DeLaSalle tonight, Minneapolis North on Saturday. Alexis Gray Lawson, the athletic director, had a hand in making this happen. She still has a lot of connections here in the North Star State. Oakland Tech, quite a program of tradition. 3 straight state championships. Had that streak broken last year in the state semifinals on a buzzer beater. They hope to start a new one, and a win over DeLaSalle could certainly carry them forward in that trajectory. They are led by a pair of top prospects, Terri'A Russell, who is on the ESPNW Super 60 list in the 2026 class, and Jhai Johnson, who isn't on that list yet, but she will be a player to watch throughout this game. Both are emblematic of the stretch forward trend that has become ubiquitous in California. They can play any position, and they will have a size advantage over anyone DeLaSalle can throw at them. One reason for that, as you may know, DeLaSalle lost Jordan Johnson when she opted to focus on volleyball. But the Islanders do have a lot of tough tests already out of the way. They picked up a win over Minnehaha, kept it close with Eden Prairie, ran into some headwinds against Minnetonka, but as we saw a year ago when they made it to the state championship round in Class 3A, this will prepare them for that stretch run. And even though they don't have the size to match Johnson or Russell, they do have an assortment of talent led by the Richmond commit, Aneisha Scott. She picked up some tough plays, tough drives in the win over Minnehaha. Maddie Blaylark, always a three-point threat. Ariana Meister, keep an eye on her in the post. Layla Moses had a strong start in the season opener with Eden Prairie. A lot of contributors on this DeLaSalle team who can gang up and perhaps give Oakland Tech a taste of what Minnesota basketball is about. We'll be back for the starting 5. You're watching High School Girls Basketball. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in! And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Let's put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to Nicollet Island, DeLaSalle. It's been a while since we last paid a visit here, but we have been on hand to witness some mesmerizing, scintillating highlights in both boys and girls basketball. Smaller crowd for this first game. We might see some more spectators show up for the boys game later. This is a 5 o'clock start. And this isn't a natural rivalry doubleheader like we're used to seeing for DeLaSalle in the case of Benilde St. Margaret's and Cretin-Durham Hall. But that doesn't diminish the significance of this game. As the Islanders make their introductions, they're still waiting to get Dylan Tubbs back. She's their tallest player, but won't be cleared to play until midway through the season as she recovers from an ACL injury she suffered a year ago. So DeLaSalle will have to find a way to compensate for their mismatch in height, but it is achievable. Here are the starters for Oakland Tech. It's Sanaya McIntyre, Naila Davis, Jhai Johnson, Terri'A Russell, and Salam Richardson. No changes to the DeLaSalle starting 5, so you'll see Maya McNeil, Aneisha Scott, Layla Moses, Maddie Blaylark, and Ariana Meister. One quirk is the uniform color. In California, the dark jerseys are typically used for road games. In Minnesota, the home team wears the dark jerseys, so for this one, Oakland Tech will wear purple, DeLaSalle will wear black. It's just one of those quirks when you cross state lines. And for Oakland Tech, they haven't had this kind of experience before. There were a few folks who wanted to go out and feel what it was like to be in 20-degree weather. Although the weather conditions are far more pleasant than yesterday, if they really wanted a taste of what Minnesota weather was about, they should have roamed the premises last night. We're underway. Oakland Tech speeding down court. Another difference, I believe. California uses quarters instead of halves, if I'm correct. Aneisha Scott working off the screen set by Blaylark. She can score from just about anywhere, but can't get that to go. Moses swatted by Jhai Johnson. Ana Garcia, first-year head coach at DeLaSalle. Leroy Hurt, the head coach for Oakland Tech. He's been around for a while. Oakland Tech, we mentioned 3 straight state titles. Had a chance for 4 in a row, but the 2020 tournament was canceled because of COVID. DeLaSalle was also in position to win state that year. Here's a 3 for Maya McNeil, and she banks it in. A deep triple for the senior to get us started. DeLaSalle bringing up the pressure on Naila Davis, gets it across. Now the Bulldogs have numbers. McIntyre over to Richardson. Side fade, pull up, not there for Terri'A Russell, but the putback is there for Jhai Johnson. Fade away for Moses. Not an easy shot to make, but Moses converts. However, Oakland Tech with a one-on-one, and the bigs team up again. Terri'A Russell trailing Jhai Johnson for the putback. Moses, she can play post, but doing a little bit of everything for the Islanders. Not unlike Russell and Johnson for the Bulldogs. Meister recovers, but got called for a double dribble, and she looks a little confused by that ruling, but she did dribble, stop, and then tried to dribble again. So from our vantage point, that was a valid call, but long way to go. In the early part of the season, Oakland Tech 1-1, DeLaSalle 1-2. But both figured to be in the conversation for state tournament championship aspirations. Straightaway 3 goes over the backboard, and that dead ball rebound will be awarded to the Islanders. That was Naila Davis who missed it. Peyton Henderson will check in for the Bulldogs. If you've watched games on our TSB Television YouTube channel, we're no stranger to welcoming out-of-state participants, but this is the first time as we get a foul on McIntyre. I believe it's McIntyre, actually. It is McIntyre. It was McIntyre on the Max Preps roster, but I'm guessing they just swapped a couple letters. And this is where the size advantage is really coming into focus for Oakland Tech, as Jhai Johnson got the inbound rejection against Layla Moses. Meister feeds it to McNeil. McNeil doesn't have one of those lengthy posts on her, or I should say lengthy all-arounds, because Johnson and Russell can take up just about any position. Russell working off the screen, goes in, tried to flip it in, had the drive contested, Meister, Blaylark, Moses in stride. Got it. 7-4. Oakland Tech throws it away. Henderson was looking for Richardson. Overshot the mark. The Bay Area getting a dose of excitement earlier this week with the Golden State Valkyries releasing their first ever uniforms. Tomorrow we'll find out what their team looks like with the expansion draft. Aneisha Scott, the sneakerhead, drawing contact on Henderson. She'll go to line for 2. Scott nearly going, 17 points per game. Moses and Blaylark also in double digits. Aneisha Scott had that wondrous season debut, but she hasn't seen any action yet. Aneisha, she has been a bona fide crunch time player since her freshman year when she suited up for the Islanders. And DeLaSalle finds ways to bring in new talent just when you think they might have a down year. Whether it's Aneisha Scott was at the helm, James Fassett, now Anna Garcia. Here's a runner for Naila Davis. It's long. Henderson got the rebound. 3 ball. Nope, that's for 2. Switch. But still an assist for Johnson and still a bucket for Davis. 9-6 the score. Scott handing it off to Blaylark. McNeil. A bump, and that is going to be the second foul on Henderson. That's going to send in Jhai Williams. And if I'm not saying it correctly, my apologies. Didn't get a full pronunciation guide before the game. There's Aneisha Scott making her first appearance for the Islanders. 8 to shoot. Meister used the dribble. Moses pulls up. Tried the bank, can't get it. Jhai Johnson with the board. She'll bring it up again. Forward center guard. She and Russell can play almost any spot on the floor. That versatility could go a long way. Blaylark intercepts the cross-court pass. Finds Moses in transition again. Moses up to 6. DeLaSalle with an 11-6 lead. Now it's the Oakland Tech bigs hooking up. Johnson to the line. Jhai Johnson at 6'3". Again, not listed in the ESPN Hoop Girls Super 60, but wouldn't be surprised if she makes her way there at some point.
Jhai Johnson on the line for the Bulldogs. Aneisha Scott back in for DeLaSalle.
Double machine, an efficiency monster, and she can shoot from the outside. Oakland Tech splits, it's 11-7. Scott speeds her way through, but misses the runner. Russell with the rebound. Russell and Scott both getting multiple Division I looks. Neither have made a commitment, but they still have time. McIntyre. Oakland Tech swings it back out. Russell's got it out the right wing. Davis pulls up. Switch. Davis with 4. Shafa. Needs help, finds Scott. Scott goes right after going left. A classic Aneisha Scott slash to the rim. On the other end, Free throws coming for Terri'A Russell.
Following on numbers 24, Aneisha, her first, team second.
Maester take for the foul. Russell gets the front end and drop.
Checking in for the Islanders, number 10, Taylor Scott.
Russell, a player with a killer mindset. Scoring, rebounding, or defending, her passion for basketball evident. If you talk to the scouts, knocks down both free throws, and that makes it 13-11. Still early, 12 minutes to go in the first half. Moses trying to draw contact, sloppy pass, picked up by the Bulldogs. Here comes Russell. Had Taylor Starks in her face. Russell shrugs her off. Russell with 6. Moses from 15. Clinks off the back iron. Shafa. Russell again. She and Johnson anchoring the defense down low. 11:21 left in the first half. This doubleheader, a special doubleheader. Moses hands it off to Starks. Jump ball. DeLaSalle with the arrow. Taylor Starks. Maybe a little flustered by that. Earlier this week, announced her commitment to play at Hamline University. 7 to shoot. McNeil through the lane. Draws the foul and will shoot 2.
Bulldogs on number 5, Jhai Johnson, her first, team fourth.
Foul on Johnson, Maya McNeil. One of the seniors. And just one of several athletes who can step up at any time. DeLaSalle,
24,
I'd say they're superstars. Their biggest names, Alina Starr and Tyshana Johnson, but you got to go way back. More recently, NJ Weems, who's playing her senior year at Lamar. But DeLaSalle produces a lot of versatile athletes. McNeil gets both free throws. DeLaSalle retakes the lead. Tough drive. Johnson got the rebound, but Maester was in her face, knocks it away. Scott hands it off to Starks, thought about it. Scott will reset. Blaylark trying to set a screen. Another roll, another finish for the crafty, smooth Aneisha Scott. Aneisha made several big plays in the one over Minnehaha. The Islanders have a couple of out-of-state opponents. They'll play Fargo Davies, I believe, at the Community Clash later this year. Russell clutched. Usually that doesn't work out, but because nobody was on Russell, she gave herself an extra moment for the putback. Russell with 8. Maester, spin move. Russell deflects and takes it away. Russell looking for the pull-up. It's not there. So Oakland Tech will run a set. Russell will call it out. 17-15. Lobs it to Johnson. Russell can't find anywhere to go inside, so Naila Davis says, all right, I'll make some room myself. And she will shoot 2.
Deals up on 11 by McNeil, her second, team third.
Naila Davis, not to be confused with the basketball athlete from Stanislaus State. Missing the front end. Issa Griefenhagen checking in. She is still working her way back from an ankle injury, so they are making sure she doesn't abuse her minute limit. I always love these types of matchups. The conference rivalries can be fun, although I think DeLaSalle should have no trouble winning the Tri-Metro. But I really think you're going to learn a lot about yourself. Blaylard, her first three is pure. Well, Maddie doesn't need to learn about her three-point stroke. She's been possessing it for years. Oakland Tech looking for the answer. Either that or that was a pass disguised as a three-pointer. Jhai Johnson with the cleanup. I don't think they drew it up that way, but they'll take it. Aneisha Scott can't take it to the cup, but she gets her own rebound. Griefenhagen lets it fly. Bullseye. Griefenhagen has chipped in a few points in the early part of the season. Davis, relentless on those takes, hasn't gotten them to work out though. And we'll have a side out here. With 8:31 left in the first half, 23-17. Home opener for DeLaSalle. And the season opener for the boys later tonight. That was a nifty duck by Terri'A Russell as she goes baseline. Blaylard pulls up from the elbow. Can't get it to drop. Russell emerges with the board. Russell with 10. The orchestrator, the catalyst in the first half. Johnson to McIntyre. Russell recovers and scores. Off the feed from Tiana Huff. Russell with a dozen. Early in the season, so I don't have a whole lot of numbers on the Oakland Tech side, but Russell making her presence felt. Johnson, this could be troublesome. She just picked up her third foul. No, her second. That's her second. The scoreboard has it off. There we go. Layla Moses at the line. Remember, this is the home opener for DeLaSalle. Everyone getting their bearings under them on this special occasion. Moses blanks. Rebound picked up by Moses. Slings it to Meister. And DeLaSalle still comes away with points on that possession. Meister on the board. All five starters have scored. Davis over to Henderson. Back out to Russell, who has been running a lot of point guard duties on sets. Looking for help, finds it. Davis again. Back out to Russell, 10 to shoot. Draws the foul. It looked like she was going to attempt to wedge her way through the lane. And now Meister hit with her second foul.
32-minute shot back in for the Islanders.
She will stay in for the moment. Russell. Over to Henderson. On the line. Shot drifted slightly left, but it's picked up by Russell. The shot clock did not reset. And Russell would have had a three. The shot clock resets to 20 on offensive rebounds, similar to the college game. But Russell had a three all lined up. Reminiscent of the DeLaSalle Minnehaha game that Alex Dingle and I covered last week. where Addie Mack had a couple of fast break plays nullified by whistles. So Oakland Tech calling their first timeout. 40 kids between the boys and girls teams flew out from Oakland to the Twin Cities. No JV game. Just straight varsity, but this will be a wonderful experience, I think. The students will have a chance to check out some of the sights and sounds of the Twin Cities tomorrow before they wrap things up during the day on Saturday with a doubleheader against Minneapolis North. Oakland, as you know, a strong history in basketball. Although a lot of the Bay Area teams have trekked over to Sacramento or San Francisco. Sacramento is a little ways away. The Warriors, the Valkyries, the Athletics, well, they're going to Sacramento. Who knows if they'll end up in Vegas. But when it comes to high school hoops, the girls and boys program have set a standard of excellence in recent years. Russell. Throws it away after using up the dribble. Shafa to Blaylark. Shafa, quick three. Swish. Anaya's on the board. Davis. To Henderson. Henderson again. Finds a cutting Russell, who lays it in. Terri'A Russell and Fuego, 14 points. But it's DeLaSalle with a 5-point lead, 28-23. Shafa. Nice move to the lane. And Shafa with a quick 5. Anaya coming over from Park Center. 10-second call. Davis stopped in her tracks, and that cost her. We saw this happen with Cretin-Durham Hall last weekend. And most of the rules are similar, but there are some minor differences. You got to get the ball across the timeline, though, whether or not there's a shot clock involved. So DeLaSalle with a chance to extend the lead. Shafa over to Scott. Aneisha, tough drive, tough finish. And a chance for 3. Aneisha stands about 5'5", 5'6". They've got her at 5'7". That's probably with the shoes on. But she has been a tremendous figure for the Islanders. No 3-point play, but DeLaSalle taking command, taking charge. 32-23. Russell's grabbed by Moses. Just her first.
DeLaSalle number 20, Layla Moses, her first, team 5th.
And when you consider the opportunity, this is one of those games where you're not going to have a ton of bragging rights if you win. DeLaSalle would love another chance to win state, for example. This is going to be one of those fun memories. Terri'A Russell making herself at home. I can see why she was included on the Super 60 2026 list. Moses, foul before Russell could get there.
Bulldogs foul on number 5, Jhai Johnson.
And that is on Jhai Johnson, her third. Jhai
Layla Moses at the line.
in a pinch here with 4:42 left in the first half. Moses blanked her last time at the line and is having some difficulty knocking down the free throws. Jhai will come out. You certainly don't want to risk an additional foul here. Appears to be somewhat despondent. Moses splits at the line. It hasn't been an explosive start for Jhai Johnson. 33-25, but Russell steering the ship. She'll have to do a little more of that with 4.5 to go in the first. Davis finds Russell. Moses staying on top of her. 8 to shoot. 3 ball. Off the backboard. Griefenhagen with the rebound. Scott hands it off. McNeil for 3. Off the rim. Rebound. Gotta be careful. Russell was attempting to create space with the elbow. Instead, it's Layla Moses who gets taken for the foul, the last to give for the Islanders. It was a dicey situation down low. McIntyre tried to thread it to Russell. DeLaSalle able to collapse. McIntyre a little frustrated at the foul call. That is her third. So McIntyre and Russell both in foul trouble here. I should say McIntyre and Johnson. Issa Griefenhagen to the line. Came over from Minnehaha Academy midway through the year. Played soccer for the Red Hawks and then made the switch. Blanks, but Blaylark snares the O-board. Shot clock did not reset properly. Ana Garcia calling out a play. Spent a long time with the Hopkins program before taking the DeLaSalle job. Scott lost the handle. Backcourt violation. Didn't look like there was a grab here. Richardson returns for the Bulldogs of Oakland Tech. A semifinalist last year and a 3-time state champion. Eight to shoot. Russell's got it. Now 4. DeLaSalle swarming the ball handler. Nowhere to go. They'll run out of time. It should be noted that one of Oakland Tech's big name contributors not eligible to play as of now. She'll be able to return after the Christmas break. Transfer from another school, and similar to Minnesota, there is a transfer rule where you have to sit out a year. Griefenhagen, 3 ball. Can't connect. Rebound, Kennedy Rowe. Oakland Tech not wasting any time. Griefenhagen collects the board. But DeLaSalle loses possession again. Oakland Tech, if they can keep this within reach with 2 of their starters in big foul trouble, that could set them up nicely in the second half. A bump. Free throws coming. Grievenhagen hit with a foul, her first.
32 Aneisha Scott back in for the Islanders.
Trying to make out the number on the jersey. That was Rowe, who blanks. Those ponytails can complicate those efforts. Blaylark loses her defender. Russell adapts in time for the block. Oakland Tech driving kick. Blaylark, I think she took that block personally. Races back for the steal. Long skip to Grievenhagen. She'll pull up for the elbow. Long. McNeil with the board. Blaylark has used that three as a fake, or at least attempted to do so. Shafa, short corner. Grazes the iron. Grievenhagen gets the friendly miss. Grievenhagen with 5. DeLaSalle hanging tough with one of the best from California. Russell, the one bright spot for the Bulldogs. Richardson. Not there, but the rebound went to Davis beyond the reach of Grievenhagen, and Oakland Tech will welcome that putback. 35-27. 1:08 to go. Shafa lost the ball, and then a foul was called on Shafa. She tried to snatch it back from Naila Davis, so it will be 1-1 time for the 5'3" sophomore.
Aneisha Scott back in for DeLaSalle. Naila Davis on the line, shooting 1-1.
Oakland Tech leaving a lot of points at the line. DeLaSalle in the same predicament, but they do hold the 8-point lead. Oh, great bounce pass. Russell got on top of Meister. Blaylark, the three is there. An ad-lib that leads to a triple. (38-27), largest lead of the game for the Islanders. Richardson. Oakland Tech swinging it around. In a pinch. Meister saying that was off of Henderson, but the officials say no. Oakland Tech throws it away. Pass got ahead of Richardson, and DeLaSalle will have a chance to close the half with a statement, an exclamation point, an authoritative flair. Nobody with more than 8 points for DeLaSalle, but their depth coming into fruition. Shot clock off. Scott now making her move. Goes up. Meister, rebound, turnaround. Still time. One more try. Nothing doing, but DeLaSalle does take an 11-point lead into halftime. 38-27 over Oakland Tech. Their all-around contributions so far overpowering Terri'A Russell. And if DeLaSalle can continue this balance, they could pick up a win against one of the perennials, one of the best from the state of California. We'll take a break and come back with first half numbers. You're watching high school girls basketball. DeLaSalle leads Oakland Tech 38-27.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Second half, moments away here at Nicollet Island, DeLaSalle High School. Mike Beaton all by myself talking to myself. That's Chaos Theory. DeLaSalle leads Oakland Tech 38-27. First half numbers go something like this. Aneisha Scott leading the Islanders with 8 points. Layla Moses with 7. And Maddie Blaylark with a couple of trays. Griefenhagen, Shafa, and McNeil all with 5. Oakland Tech, Terri'A Russell 16 points. The rest of the team just 11, but remember 2 starters, McIntyre and Johnson, in big foul trouble. Both hit with their third personal fouls late in the first half. The guard play has favored DeLaSalle as well. Oakland Tech, again, one of their key contributors, won't be available until the start of the calendar year. And while Russell is asserting her superstar status, they haven't been able to get as much production out of the guards, at least not as consistently as DeLaSalle. In fact, only 3 players have scored altogether for the Bulldogs. High-low, Johnson too far underneath. Russell will reset. Johnson has to avoid that 4th foul, at least in the early going of this half, or Oakland Tech could be in big trouble. Yikes, McIntyre. And Johnson having a chat. It doesn't appear they were on the same page. McIntyre called for traveling. Remember, this is the early part of the season. Everyone's still gaining their bearings. Scott to McNeil. Blaylark. Back to Scott. Aneisha Scott was looking brilliant in the first half. Oakland Tech with numbers. Blaylark called for the contact against Johnson. Maddie Blaylark gives up more than a few inches. So that is a daunting assignment, prospect in transition. Jhai Johnson. We'll see what she can do here in the second half. Oakland Tech made it a battle, but Johnson's got to stay on the floor. Overall, a lot of juniors and sophomores on this roster. Johnson makes both free throws. Let's see if that can get Oakland Tech moving again. Ariana Meister moving underneath to drain the reverse. Blaylark this time gets the read on Johnson. Nearly threw it away herself, but Scott is there. Kicks out. McNeil 3. Short. Moses. Rebound. Oh no! That's going to be the 4th on Johnson. Jhai put herself in harm's way there. You can't be passive, of course, when you're trying to get the ball, but now she's going to have to come out again. Huff will come in, and this could spell huge trouble for Oakland Tech. Moses converts the freebies. We'll have a little bit of time in between games, so we'll try to get a post-game chat. Russell drawing a lot of coverage, kicks out. 3 is long, and the rebound will go to Oakland Tech. Leroy Hurd going deep into the bench. Six to shoot for the Bulldogs. Long skip, Russell, 3-ball. Misfires. Davis hustling for the O-board. Davis again, 4 on the shot clock. Oakland Tech's got to go. They'll lose track of it. They lost track of the clock. Scott getting a lot of coverage out in the perimeter now. 3-ball, short, Laylard throws it into the hands of Huff. Looking for the finish, can't get it. Scott was there for the disruption. Meister catches up to it. Goodbye. Davis. Oakland Tech. Let's see if they can work their way out of this bit of adversity. Deep 3. Banking it in is Davis. Oakland Tech, they just have to hang on as best they can until Johnson can return. Laylard doubled. And Ana Garcia has to get the timeout call in.
30-second timeout.
DeLaSalle, much like a year ago, front-loading their schedule with some high-caliber teams. We mentioned the teams they've already played, 2 from the Lake, and a 2A perennial in Minnehaha Academy. They'll start conference play after this. The Tri-Metro is a little larger this year. They will host Hopkins and then Benilde St. Margaret's. I said Fargo debuts in the first half. I stand corrected. They'll play Shanley and Horace, 2 North Dakota teams. In conference, visitation might be their toughest challenge, but I don't think DeLaSalle is going to have a tough time winning the Tri-Metro this year. 14-footer for Moses. Short, picked up by Tiana Huff. Oakland Tech. They could really use a string of buckets here. Trailing 44-32. Haven't heard much from Russell yet in this half. But you see that box and 1 designed to container. It results in a steal for the Islanders. Laylard, mid-range. Raises the front iron. Moses got the rebound, got poked. The 3 is there for Maya McNeil. Moses with a battle scar and an assist to boot. McNeil up to 8. Oakland Tech waiting to get all their numbers back. Blaylark this time made contact with Russell while trying to intercept the entry pass. Second for Blaylark, but no one in serious foul trouble for DeLaSalle. DeLaSalle's performance. The epitome of balance. Nobody with more than 9. Tough drive, nothing there. Rowe fouled from behind. Kennedy will shoot 2. Kennedy, the 6'1 junior. Now DeLaSalle with the first bit of foul trouble. Layla Moses hit with the third. Rowe to shoot 2. Did not score in the first half. To follow up on the story we mentioned in the open about how Oakland Tech came here, Alexis Gray-Lawson still has family ties to the Twin Cities and wanted to give this group a taste of Minnesota basketball, considering the signature, the imprint they have made in this state. And you can get an example of that with Aneisha Scott trying to draw the foul on Russell. Doesn't get it, but puts back her own miss. She's up to 10. Leroy Hurt's going to call a timeout, and that gives me a perfect segue to talk about how you can view the history of this sport at the Minnesota History Center. The Girlhood exhibit with a segment, a section on women's basketball. You can check out some of the artifacts and highlights from the state's extensive history. One of the most fascinating features when I checked out the exhibit, there was a time when girls basketball wasn't a sport. It started in the early 1900s, and then it was discouraged, or women in general were discouraged from participating in physical activities of this nature. So the sport wouldn't be reintroduced until the 70s as a result. Needless to say, we're not going back. 49-32. Oakland Tech using their second timeout. And another foul, this one on the Islanders. And it will result in free throws for Peyton Henderson. Again, I don't have the season tallies for Oakland Tech in the early part of the year, but it's been mostly Russell. Jhai Johnson back in, but she will have to be extra careful with those 4 fouls. Oakland Tech jumped the gun. So DeLaSalle will take over. It's a split for Henderson. And then Tiana Huff with the proverbial shove against Scott. Wouldn't be surprised if DeLaSalle attacks Jhai Johnson, knowing she has to be more conservative the rest of the way. Davis takes off running. Scott takes off for the block. Russell pulls up. Johnson, rebound, putback. Those two synced up nicely in the first half, often trailing each other. Again, Scott has to, or Johnson had to let Moses go, but Moses misses the take. Let's see how Oakland Tech's efficiency changes with Johnson back in there. Henderson missed the reverse, got herself free, and that's the double whammy. Missed the shot, then foul. A good deal away from your basket. That's the third on Peyton Henderson.
Timeout, DeLaSalle.
DeLaSalle will take a timeout. Again, conference-wise, Visitation may be the toughest competitor for the Islanders. Beyond that, I don't think they're going to have any trouble at all. But I've been wrong before. The Hopkins game also might look a little different than expected. Tatum Woodson with her knee injury and an absence that could loom large. Hopkins and DeLaSalle will play each other in a couple of weeks, but that absence now changes the complexion of the situation. But DeLaSalle, Hopkins and Medill St. Margaret's on back-to-back days. The Red Knights, they've been going through some growing pains as well, getting Kendall McGee back, but having to work without Olivia Olson. We saw what happened a year ago where they had a little more trouble keeping up with teams in that capacity. Oakland Tech lost to Vanden by 3 2 days ago, flew out yesterday. I don't know all of the top contenders in California because I'm not assigned to cover that state. Aneisha Scott pulls up for the elbow J. Aneisha continues to provide a series of big buckets. Give and go. Russell with the first bucket of the second half. Getting herself free. Down low. Blaylark. Deep three. Scrum for the rebound. Picked up by Russell. Pulls up from 15. Yes. 20 points for Russell. Johnson. Got to be careful. Able to get the stop on Moses there. Ooh. Found Henderson, who this time finishes the job, but Johnson flexing that arm reach of hers. Scott's pull-up J this time off the mark. Maester with the save. Scott with the finish. Timeout. Oakland Tech. Aneisha Scott, just like the Minnehaha game, rises to the occasion in crunch time. 53-41. Aneisha Scott with 14. And if you're watching this on the TSB Television YouTube channel, we'll have a couple of Two Rivers games next week. Two Rivers and Como Park, Two Rivers and Southwest. That is coming up on the TSB Television YouTube channel as we make our way to another season right here on TSB and our local television stations. 10:24 left in the second half. Aneisha Scott giving DeLaSalle a much-needed boost. They're not in a danger zone yet, but Oakland Tech was threatening a run. Johnson finds Russell, who recovers and flips it in again. Terri'A Russell doing some incredible work under less than ideal circumstances down low. And I feel her production going up considerably with Johnson back out on the floor. Jump ball. DeLaSalle with the arrow.
24-39 back in front.
Moses in trouble. Another tie-up. Oakland Tech with the arrow this time. High-low lob. Johnson didn't get it cleanly. Loose ball, snagged by Scott. Through one defender, bounce pass. Free throws for Moses. Forthcoming. The fourth on Henderson. This is really putting a strain on Oakland Tech's depth. On the DeLaSalle side, nobody with 4.
It's
a split for Moses. Tough drive again. Scott with the rebound. And she'll shoot 2. Scott also on the DeLaSalle track team has put up some solid numbers, solid times there. That foul, just the first of Russell. Highlighted by the breakdown with one of the quickest first steps in the state. Her trap background certainly helps there. Splits at the line. Push her total to 15. Johnson finds Russell. Oh! Close call. Ana Garcia and DeLaSalle fans watching this probably wanted a foul on Johnson. .9:05 left. Russell. Scott with the poke and the takeaway. Not going to try 1-on-2. She'll pull up for 3 instead. Moses, rebound. Meister, the reverse. Won't drop this time, but she'll shoot 2. Meister has been a part of the DeLaSalle family for her varsity career, and she is making some defensive hustle plays and some offensive hustle plays too. A short while ago, chased down a loose ball, got the save that led to a Scott bunny, and now getting an O-board. I thought DeLaSalle might be in some trouble not having the height, but they've got more than enough guards to compensate. And remember, they will get Dylan Tubbs back midway through the year. Steal, finish for Jhai. 59-43, DeLaSalle humming along. Russell, a little out of control, couldn't get the finish there. Scott. Looking to give DeLaSalle an exclamation point. And Jhai will go to the line for free throws.
Team 7. Back in for Oakland Tech 14, Peyton Henderson. Aneisha Scott at the line, shooting 1-1.
Jhai converts the front end. Just a split, but DeLaSalle slowly pulling away. Russell gets it and takes it in for 2. Russell with 24. The game's high score, but all game long, balance has been an issue for the Bulldogs and a boost for the Islanders. 3 ball. McNeil short. Johnson with the rebound. Going outlet. Huff Can't quite get there, and Scott.
23, Blaylock back in for the Islanders. Number 12, Sloan Richardson back in for the Bulldogs.
Scott almost got to steal on the last play. That lob, ill-advised, sloppy pass. Moses takes it away. DeLaSalle asserting their might. And more free throws will be coming.
The Bulldogs 11. Terri'A Russell for second. Team Aneisha shooting 1-1.
Meister shooting 1-1. Scott leading with 15 points, Moses with 10, Meister 9, Shafa 8, McNeil 8. That's your story. Even though it's another split for the Islanders, they are keeping Oakland Tech at bay, just getting more production from their guards and their posts as well. Salam Richardson drains the three. Needed a friendly bounce to do it. But that could be a welcome sight for the Bulldogs as they try to work their way back into contention. Russell with 24 points, rest of the team with 24. That's it for Johnson. Johnson will finish with 9. Has a lot of promise.
That's her fifth 19 foul.
But got in foul trouble early, and it's tough to do. I have seen players
32 take off back in for
over time make it through 4 fouls. But it's a really difficult task to complete. Shafa gets the front end to go. And with Johnson not available for the rest of this one, that just might seal it for DeLaSalle. They go for the steal. Russell gets the outlet in, but then Richardson passed back out. They'll take a 3, and it's long. Scott to Blaylock. Scott for 3. That would have been a dagger, but look at Blaylock racing down court. And Blaylock may have taken a tougher hit. .608 left.
Mic'd Up Sports is TSB Television's talk show series. Available on all major podcast platforms, we offer sports figures, past and present, a place to convey stories and adventures on a deeper level than our traditional game coverage. Whether you're a superstar athlete or someone who works behind the scenes, we'd be honored to share your story. If you'd like to be a guest, contact us at The Mike Peden on all major social platforms.
I didn't see what happened, but Maddie Blaylock, while chasing the rebound, landed awkwardly, and this is not a good sign. Looks like a knee injury as she went for the ball, came down awkwardly while trying to keep possession on DeLaSalle's side, and as usual, unfortunately, we've been dealing with some early injuries involving top-name players. Blaylark, an All-State honorable mention last year. I won't speculate on the severity, but that could hamper DeLaSalle's guard depth if Blaylark is out for an extended time. So back to action. Oakland Tech ball after the missed three-pointer by DeLaSalle. But they are running out of time, Oakland Tech is. They try the high-low. Meister with the read. Moses will shoot two more.
Oakland Tech foul on 0, McIntyre. Her fourth, team 10th.
The fourth on McIntyre. And DeLaSalle booking a lot of trips to the free throw line as a result. Layla Moses, all of her points in this half have come from there. But not getting them down at an efficient rate. Still enough to keep DeLaSalle beyond the reach of Oakland Tech. 5:25 to go in the second. Russell, turnaround, off the back iron. Rebound Moses. Scott. A step-through runner would be the best way to sum up that play. She's got 17. And I'm sure DeLaSalle wants to finish this for Maddie. Remember, Dylan Tubbs working her way back from a knee injury suffered a year ago that took her out of contention. And Kendall McGee, the most notable example of returning this year. Scott finds a wide open McNeil. Bullseye. That should just about do it. With DeLaSalle up 69-48, their guard depth simply too much for Oakland Tech to overcome. And with Jhai Johnson getting in early foul trouble, the rest of the team just hasn't been able to step up in her absence. But again, they will get one of their big name players back in the lineup when she is eligible following the end of the calendar year. So this Oakland Tech team, don't write them off yet. They did graduate more than a few players responsible for those state title runs of a few years ago. But we've seen this in several forms in the early part of the season. The Lake Conference in particular, several of the usual contenders going through early stumbles. It's a wide open field right now in Minnesota. And while I don't know the prospects for Oakland in California in terms of state tournament contenders, they have a strong anchor with Johnson and Russell. Grievenhagen, three does not go in. 3.5 to go. Russell launches, goes off the back iron. Naomi Whitaker-Hill collects the board. And while we've dealt with a number of injuries, again, Tatum Woodson and now Maddie Blaylark could be out for who knows how long. It's a reminder of the mileage all these athletes put on their bodies. They understand the risks that come with this sport. Just about everyone here plays AAU. Griefenhagen, inbound 3, short. Some do fall leagues. You log a lot of games, but it can put a lot of strain as well. You can do everything right, weird things happen. Whether it's knee injuries or, in my case, root canals, but that's another story. 2:41 left. DeLaSalle will pick up win number 2. But our coverage from Nicollet Island, far from done. We'll have the boys' game on our YouTube channel. Part of our 18th season of high school sports coverage. We got off to another busy start. That included a surprising victory for 4-0 over Minnetonka and some of the other Lake Conference teams to suffer early stumbles. St. Michael Abbeville lost to Monticello. Now Monticello, one of the top teams in 3A, but that was a double overtime affair and not something you see often. Hopkins fell to Eastview, but again, no Tatum Woodson, and they're still working through some of their new pieces, like Liv Bell, who did not have a great game, but Eastview, after years of being on the outskirts, just might be returning to form. Long story short, the Lake Conference might not be the unbeatable group they were a year ago. That doesn't mean they won't win or send a representative or two to Class 4A, but it does mean expect the unexpected. Wrapping this one up here. 3 to shoot, Oakland Tech losing track of the shot clock again. They do have a shot clock in California, so I'm a little surprised the Bulldogs haven't been able to keep up with it, but it goes like that sometimes. Again, though, they need a little more support to help out Johnson and Russell. Johnson and Russell are 2 bona fide players. We saw their impact when they were on the floor together. DeLaSalle riding this one out. Aneisha Scott is going to finish with 17 points to lead her team again. And we'll have a little time in between, so we'll see if we can get her for a post-game chat. Russell, not quite done for the day. Taylor Starks called for traveling. I think that's the first time we've seen a travel call on DeLaSalle. DeLaSalle jumped out to a big lead early in the first half, and that's one reason why. Their guards are a little faster, a little more in tune. And it also helps when you pick up a couple of notable names like Aneisha Scott. Now we're going to see some of the deep bench players make their mark with 1:21 to go. Aneisha Scott, if Blaylark can't play, Samira Taylor checking in as well for the Islanders. If Blaylark is out for an extended time, again, we won't know until we get a report of some kind. Shafa might pick up some of those minutes. Taylor with the O board. No second chance opportunity for the Islanders. These matchups are always tough to gauge because you have no precedent to draw from, but DeLaSalle has the stronger assortment of guards as Grievenhagen goes streaking. We're going to get a substitution timeout taken by DeLaSalle. To get the starters out of there. Well, Terri'A Russell has a bright future ahead of her, and I would think Jhai Johnson in position as well. But even Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, some of the biggest names go through rough spells. Johnson went through one tonight. Russell. You have to admire her ability to stay with it, her tenacity. Russell to the line to shoot two more. Keep an eye out for this 6'2" junior. She has a reasonable, if not higher chance, I'd say probable chance of being an impact player in the Division I college ranks. She'll finish with 26. DeLaSalle can run out the clock here. Just a good second half. Oh, they're not going to run out the clock. Russell isn't going to coast either. Comes up with the block and the coast-to-coast layup. So Russell with an exclamation point to finish with 28, giving us one last reminder of her prowess as an all-around talent. But it's DeLaSalle who will win the day as they will let time expire. 72-52 the final. A potentially costly one for the Islanders depending on Maddie Blaylark's status, but an affirming statement of their depth and their hustle when it comes to guard play. Islanders go to 2-2. Oakland Tech goes to 1-2. We'll have the boys game coming up, but we'll try to get a word with Aneisha Scott before we wrap this up. This is high school girls basketball. DeLaSalle beats Oakland Tech 72-52. We're joined by Aneisha Scott of DeLaSalle, who led the way once again, DeLaSalle picking up their second win of the year. Aneisha, the difference in this game was guard play. DeLaSalle's guards, top to bottom, all over Oakland Tech. We saw a lot of steals and a lot of scrappy play tonight. How do you think the guard play made a difference?
I think the guard play made a real difference. Coming into the game, we knew they had two bigs, so our intentions were to make it hard for them to get it to the bigs. So whether that's being up on the guards, picking the passing lanes or whatever, just try not to let them get in the paint.
Another factor that I think helped you, getting Jhai Johnson into foul trouble and then she fouled out, that limited Oakland Tech's production. How do you think that aided you in this win tonight?
I think that was a big part in it. You know, taking one of them down is like, it's like kind of like a relief, but you still had to take care of the other one. So we had to just stay focused and keep playing.
In some ways, this is just another game, but for you, when you get to play a team from out of state, you'll be doing that a couple more times against North Dakota teams. How does that affect scouting preparation? Because compared to a conference rival or a team you face every year like Minnehaha, you've got a lot of game film to draw from. Oakland Tech, you've got some film, but you've never played them before. How does that go into strategy and preparation?
Going into it, you kind of have to go in with the open mind, you know, take all the information you can get, whether that's the day before or a couple weeks before, but going in, you just got to stay focused, stay strong, and come ready to compete.
And how deep would you say this DeLaSalle team is? I've gotten to see you a few times now, and everybody stepped up. Yourself, Anaya, Layla, Ariana. It didn't matter what name or number you were wearing. Everyone found a way to chip in to make big plays. How helpful has that been as DeLaSalle works through all the new pieces, new coaches, and all the other changes?
It's really helpful. Coming in, we have a big senior class this year, but the underclassmen always find a way to step up and show us what they have and what we're going to leave them with next year. So.
And what do you learn from a game like this? Oakland Tech, a long, proud history in girls basketball, and you've got to win against them. You've got to win against Minnehaha. This DeLaSalle team, even though they're 2-2, it feels like in some ways they picked up where they left off a year ago.
Yeah, it's a big win for us, knowing we can compete with some teams like this, and teams like Minnehaha kind of puts that another add to our chip on our shoulder. So.
Now, I read that you're quite the sneakerhead in the breakdown. How many pairs do you own?
I can't count off the top of my head, but I definitely have a lot.
Enough to fill your closet?
Yeah, it kind of fills outside of my closet, too.
Uh-oh. Are you going to have to get an extra storage then?
Yeah, I might have to.
Well, I hope Richmond has an extra locker or two out there. Do you have any favorite pairs that you like to wear?
I like to wear the 11s, the Concords.
All right. So, Concord, if you're looking for any type of partnership next year, I think this young woman would be happy to assist you. Before we go, you want to say hi to anybody?
Hi to all my family, my friends, and all my teammates.
Well, thanks for the time, Aneisha, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Aneisha Scott of DeLaSalle will have the boys game coming up shortly.